Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my Florida garden. So it's been a really wet, rainy, windy week here in Orlando, and it's been really difficult to find time to get outside and film a gardening project. But I saw a break in the rain, the sky is blue, the sun is out, so I figured I'd get outside and plant up some hanging baskets for my front porch. So let's get into it. So here's a quick sneak peek of the flowers I picked up for this project and my two little hanging baskets. Before we go into details on all of these plants, I wanted to quickly show you what I worked on this morning. So I mounted some hooks. You can see right here, I've got this little J hook here, and then there is another one. Also, I haven't dealt with all of the fronds from my bird of paradise plants. I still need to bag those or bundle those and get them out to the curb. But here's the other J hook here. So I can mount my hanging baskets. These baskets are 12 inches across, and then from the top of the chain down to the bottom of the basket, they're about 22 inches. I was originally trying to mount these J hooks here like this. You can see the holes that I had to fill with some wood compound, but I couldn't get them to work. I don't think that there's like a metal, I don't know if it's metal flashing that's underneath this wood. I could not drill through it for the life of me. So I had to pivot and use these J hooks that are mounted using 2 screws. And I've got, what are those called? Like the plastic anchors that the screws are screwed into, that gives it kind of some extra strength. So that's what I worked on this morning. It took a little bit longer than expected, but you can see the 2 little hooks hanging out right there and the other one right over here. So I'm excited to have these hooks ready to go for my hanging baskets. And then this one I think I'm going to use inside. I'm going to mount a house plant inside my walk-in shower, so it's not going to go to waste. So pivoting now over here, I kind of gave you some specs on the 2 hanging baskets that I picked up. Again, they're 12 inches in diameter and then about 22 inches from the top of the chain down to the bottom of the basket. They've got this nice, I guess, what is this? Modern design. They do have the cocoa core lining. Looking at the plants now, I've got these Calibrachoas that I picked up, and they've got these beautiful purple, like light purple flowers with magenta and yellow centers. Looking at some of the specs here, the plants themselves are called Aloha Tiki Pink, Million Bells Mini. It says trumpet-shaped light pink flowers with magenta centers, growing to basketball size. Some have a spreading, trailing habit for hanging baskets, pots, borders, tubs, and beds. And they like sun to part shade, well-draining soil, and it says to protect from cold. I'm hoping we're done with the cold. It is, what, mid-March now? No, April. Oh my gosh, it is almost mid-April. I'm sure that we're good to go. Our average last frost date here in Florida was in January, but as many of you know, we had the unprecedented freezes in February, which kind of took out a lot of my garden. I'm not going to go into any more detail with that. I don't want to bore you, but we are, I think, out of the clear. So these other plants here that I picked up, these are some white Verbenas. They need about 6 hours of sun. They grow about 12 to 16 inches tall and about that wide. These ones have kind of been in their containers for quite a while. You can kind of see they're looking a little stressed out, but they are flowering. They've got these beautiful bright white flowers, which I think pair so nicely here with the Calibrachoas. I picked all of these plants up over here about 3 weeks ago. So they have been patiently waiting to be planted up in the hanging baskets. It was, I guess the lag, if you will, was me trying to figure out how to hang them here with these J hooks, but I figured it out this morning. And then lastly, I picked up some creeping Jenny. I love the beautiful chartreuse green. I think that foliage is going to look so good with the Verbenas, and again, also over here with the Calibrachoas. These plants are, of course, they covered up with the label, their growth habit. So these plants are more or less like vining plants. They'll spill over the sides of the hanging baskets, and the idea is that they'll just kind of cascade out of the baskets, along with the verbena. The verbena will trail out as well, but not as long as these creeping jennies. These creeping jennies, I mean, I've seen some in baskets that are 3, 4, 5 feet long. So I'm really excited to see how these perform. As far as the soil that we're going to use, I picked up some of this all-purpose potting mix. It says it's got fertilizer inside. It'll continuously feed for up to 9 months. You can use it for potted fruits, flowers, herbs, and vegetables, and it helps retain moisture. These baskets are not going to be hooked up to any drip system, so I will be hand watering them. So when I saw this helps retain moisture, I'm hoping that is a true statement, because I am afraid that I'm going to miss a day or two and these plants are all going to dry out. Neither here nor there. I will take care of these as best as I can, but again, excited about that moisture control. And then lastly, I will be using some organic plant tone, all-purpose plant food when I plant all these plants in. As we all know, flowering annuals are heavy feeders, and they will definitely appreciate all the added nutrients from that plant tone. And then I will also be fertilizing these plants weekly with water-soluble plant food. So I've got Miracle Grow plant food, as well as the Proven Winners premium water-soluble plant food. I actually don't have any of the Proven Winners stuff at the moment. I'll throw an image up on the screen of what it looks like, and I'll link it in the video description for reference. I'll also link the plant tone in the description for reference. But yeah, I have to pick up some more plant tone because I ran out when I did the planting projects a few weeks ago, which was when I planted in all of the super tunias and super Verbenas, which will really quick, I'll give you an update on those. You can see they're rooting in nicely. The super Verbenas here are starting to bloom, the beautiful plum wine, and then this is that cool jazz, which I think that this cool jazz is going to pair really nicely with those Calibrachoas, also with the super Verbenas with the magenta centers. This is kind of a deeper purple color, but I think that it'll still look really nice together. And then over here, you can see this one is mounding up beautifully. I love how it looks here with this nasturtium plant. You can see this one here. This super Verbena is blooming like crazy, and look at all of these buds all over this plant. I'm so excited. And then in here, you can see, just a quick update before we get going, the white salvias have all started to bloom. They are now taking the spotlight in this bed with, I guess the lighter leaf sages are now all done for the season. I gotta come in here and deadhead all these plants. So the lavender flowers from the sages here are now being replaced by the beautiful white spires of these salvia plants. So again, so excited with how everything is doing here in my front yard garden. So let me get you all on the tripod and we'll get to planting. All right, so I moved everything over here into my front porch seasonal flower bed, which at the moment has no flowers in it. I don't know about you, but I feel so far behind this year. I don't know if it's the freeze or what, but I am so far behind. So let me know in the comments if you also feel like you're behind, and hopefully I'm not the only one. So let's get started getting my beautiful baskets all planted up. So to start, I'm just gonna put a little bit of soil at the bottom of the baskets. Not too much, because there's a lot of plants that I'm gonna be cramming into these baskets. I want them to have a very full appearance. I'm not even gonna fight the wind with these. Let them flop over. So I've got 2 of the Calibrachoas, so we're gonna do 1 in each basket, and then we will surround them. There's 6 of the white Verbenas total, so we'll put 3 in each basket, and then we'll flank 2 of the creeping jennies on the sides to kind of bookend the front porch with the creeping jenny. And I forgot to add some of the plant tones. Let me really quick add that in at the bottom. So I've planted them up so that this is the front. So we have obviously the Calibrachoa, we have one of the white Verbenas, another white Verbena, and then a white Verbena over here, and then the two creeping jennies that'll cascade down. So this will be on this side looking out. I think that'll be good. Actually, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna move the two creeping jennies close to each other. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. And then we're gonna just put the Verbenas all in the front. I think that'll look a little better. There we go. Like that. It looks so good. All right. So there we go. I think this one turned out great. I did that same pattern with the obviously Calibrachoa in the center, the three white Verbenas, and then tucked in over here on the side are the creeping jennies. So let me scoot you guys back and I'll get them hung up on the J-hooks. So there we go. I think they turned out so great. I love the look of the creeping jenny and the white Verbenas, and then you can come up here and see the Calibrachoas. But as these plants fill in, they're really gonna spill out and really cascade out of this hanging basket. And like I said, the creeping jenny here will come all the way down, hopefully 4 to 5 feet. Looking at this one over here, you can see a little bit more of the pink Calibrachoas, but again, same thing. We're gonna get the creeping jenny over here on the side. It's gonna cascade out. These are gonna look so great. So originally when I bought these baskets and hung them, I thought that they might have been too small for my porch, but I'm thinking now that they're planted in, and once these plants really put on some size, they're really gonna mound out. So imagine them mounded out 6 inches in all directions and then spilling out. They're gonna look so beautiful. And then when it comes to watering, these aren't hooked up to my drip irrigation like I said, but I do have the ability to hook them up to my drip. I could tap in here with a what is this, the 1/4-inch poly pipe right into my main drip line here, and then I could run that drip line up the back of this post to the top here, across the beam, and then down into the basket, and then do a similar thing over there for the other one. So I might do that, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be good about watering these by hand. And then as far as watering hanging baskets, the rule of thumb, water them until you see water trickling out of the bottom. So that's what I've learned from other gardeners. I've never actually had hanging baskets, but from all the research that I've done about hanging baskets and care for hanging baskets, they always say water them until you see water dripping out of the bottom. So yeah, so this should be a pretty low maintenance addition to the garden, hopefully, right? Like I said, I'm gonna be fertilizing them with some water soluble fertilizer weekly. I'll add them to just the regular rotation for all my flowering plants. You really wanna make sure that you fertilize flowering plants often throughout the growing season because they use a lot of energy to produce flowers. And then lastly, I did want to say this area of my garden right now is shaded, but as we get into the May-June timeframe and the sun gets higher in the sky, I get a ton of sun up here. So I'm actually almost worried that the summer sun is going to be too strong for these plants, but we'll see together. So that's gonna do it with this week's project. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so excited to add these hanging baskets here on my front porch. Hopefully I've inspired you to add some hanging baskets in your garden. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can follow along with all the updates on my hanging baskets and all the plants in my garden this spring and summer season. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video. I'm gonna go fill up my watering can and get these beautiful hanging baskets all watered in.